Hi everybody, and welcome to the Chuck and Lisa Show. Welcome to our living room, surrounded by the pets and my beautiful wife Lisa. Everybody say hello, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Wait a minute. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Hello,
Hello, Lisa.
hello Lisa.
How many times do we have to say that?
How low
How
is
many
Lisa?
times does it take? How low is Lisa? Very good, very good. Welcome everybody. It's a rainy evening in North Carolina, and we're hanging out in the living room. As I mentioned, we've got all the pets around us pretty much, and we've got some interesting topics for you tonight. Mr. Dershey, good evening, sir. We're all in a sort of a quiet mood tonight so far. I want to start by saying your friend Jay, that's his name, right?
Yes.
Prayers to him. You said he was taken to the hospital and he needs he's in dire straits, or he has some difficulty going on, or what?
Emergency.
Yeah, they rushed him to the emergency room, and he went for emergency surgery on his his stomach.
Abdomen.
Abdomen.
That's hard to say, actually. Abdomen. Abdomen. God bless him. God bless him. Our prayers are with him. I wanted to start by mentioning that because I know your heart's a little bit heavy tonight. He's a good friend, I gather.
Yeah, my best friend for 20 years now.
That's cool. Well, the prayers are for him. First of all, I guess we should start by telling you where we are. Well, hello, Mr. Dershey. Welcome to the show officially.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we got some interesting topics that we're going to go over tonight, and we want to start by telling you everybody where you can find us at any given point. First of all, me. I am at Chuck Nellis pretty much everywhere on Earth. I am on that's the only one I'm not, is Facebook. That's a different name. Parlor, USA.life. By telling you where we are. Well, hello, we Mr. go. Hershey. Welcome to the show.
Oh.
Mute.
Okay.
Got it? Is that you?
It's not me. Is that about me?
Oh, never mind.
No, that's not me.
That's
never my fault. Sorry.
No.
Chuck, we've already discussed it's always your fault, no matter what.
I've already ascertained this completely.
Well, no, I didn't have anything playing, so it's not my fault.
Did you hit a mute button?
I don't have us on the air.
Oh.
No, it's not my fault.
Well, that was interesting. We're being spied on by the NSA. Hello, boys. I'm also at Chuck Nellis on Gab, and MeWe, and Tumblr, and Instagram.
And Tinder. Just kidding.
No Tinders. You ain't right. That's a different one. Give me 5. That was a good one. So she just zinged me. No, that's not true, but it's a great zing. And you can find me on... God.
It
You
makes
know,
me laugh.
Hey, remember how we were talking about how we go in the ditch right off the get-go on the show? We're already in the ditch.
Already in the ditch.
We're already
We live
in the ditch. We live in the ditch.
Yep.
Anyway, on Facebook you can find me at chuck.nellis.7. Oh my, that's a good start.
That's like really scary.
If you don't know what
That's
Tinder
really,
is, don't look it up.
That's
because
really
it's
scary to
really,
think that there's
really
6
just
other
a-
Chuck Nellises before you, though.
That's true. Lisa, where can we find you?
Nowhere.
Nowhere!
No, I hate everybody and everything. Just don't. No. I'm kidding. All right. Don't talk to me.
And she ain't joking.
Not this week. No. All right. So I could say Louise.blog, but I haven't updated that for 2 months. So.
Oh no!
Yeah.
We'll read the back issue. Read the reruns.
Yeah, read back issues. Louise on Twitter. In case you're looking for Chuck, I might update it. I might not. Look for Chuck. He's on. He's on Tinder now.
He's on Tinder. You meanie.
I write for ladiesofspeed.org. I have a Etsy site which is called Vintage Velma Finds.
Where can we find you on Tinder?
On Tinder? On Tinder?
Tinder, Twitter, and Clout Hub.
On Tinder, I'm not there. On Clout Hub, I'm Louise, but, I show up on Clout Hub, I open it up, I see, all you liberals suck and they must die, and I'm like...
Actually, that's exactly what you're going to be addressing.
Right. Oh, and that would be Dershey, by the way.
Well, it's been known to happen.
Right. That would be Dershey.
Or me.
So then I go away.
Or me.
So we're going to be addressing that in the future.
Yep.
Yes, I am
we'll
on
be
Clout
talking
Hub.
about the entry portal.
Yeah, but anyway.
Right.
So I open it up and close it right back up.
Well, but that will be changing. Yabba-dabba-do. Go ahead. You're not done.
Oh,
wait,
look,
more.
There's already a boo-boo. In the wire. It's cut.
Cats.
Or demons. Or ghosts.
More like cats.
Okay. So, yeah, Clout Hub, I try, but I can't.
You will. You'll get in there.
Okay.
They're just a baby site.
Well, no, they're mean.
They've
they're
got
liberals.
great. Well, it's not them. It's us.
The people. I know.
It's me and Dershey.
Exactly.
Right, Dershey?
Post it
It's
right
me
there.
and Dershey.
Just post it right there. Lisa, go away. You suck.
Well, see, that's going to be the right side. Then there'll be the left side. Then there'll be the middle.
I know, but see, you can't. On Twitter, you could choose to see who you wanted to follow. On Clout Hub, it's like going into town square and everybody throwing rocks at you at the same time.
Well, that's
you
what's going to
dodging them.
change. That's what he's explaining.
I know, but that's what it is.
It is currently, yes.
Am I right?
Oh, yeah. I'd throw a rock at you politically.
Throw a rock at you just because.
Alrighty. Anywhere, we covered Vintage Velma and all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
My store's not up and running yet, so when it is,
all right,
I'll let
so
y'all know.
More to come.
More
Mr.
to come.
Dershey. First of all, how are you? And second of all, where can we find you?
Well, I'm better than I deserve to be, but you knew that already. You can always find me behind this microphone on Wednesday nights at 9:30 on the Chuck and Lisa Show. Privileged and glad to be here with you guys. And you can also...
That's a good place to be.
It is. And you can also find me on Tuesday nights on the Right Side of Politics with Chuck and Dersh. We had a great conversation yesterday with Jeff from Cloud Hub, and he
did.
Addressing some of those issues that Lisa is complaining about. So I think that's going to do
I'm
it.
not complaining. I'm observing.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we have to get it from both perspectives, as we talked about last night.
I tried.
And it has
Can you hold this for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
And it has to. It'll become more like she wants it to be, but it is more like a right side thing at the beginning.
I don't want it to be.
But it will change.
I don't want it to be happiness and butterflies and sunshine. I want it to be
Yes, keep
Not
talking.
so hateful.
Anyway, you can find
where can we find you while she's
You can mostly find me on Cloud Hub.
Not in the kitchen.
Even though on the graphic for our show it says Gab, I didn't change that yet. I need to do that. I'm no longer on Gab.
Did we all quit Gab?
Yeah.
And put a line through that because Gab.
You guys quit Gab?
Yeah. Gab has turned into a nut house. I am on USA.life, MeWe, WGA, WG1, WGA, which they call WeGo now, I believe, and Parler. You can find me all those places as at Dersh. And I'm not on Twitter. Kill the bird.
No, Twitter does not love us anymore, and we don't love them.
The bird is dead. Long live Cloud Hub.
We gave the bird to the bird.
Twitter's not dead. Twitter's just dead to you.
It's dead to us.
Dead. If it's dead to me, it's dead to me, it's dead. Anyway, so we're gonna get started tonight shortly.
This is our show, not your show.
Anyway, we're gonna get started here in a minute. Before we do, I'd like to tell everybody they can call in and join the chaos here at the Chuck and Lisa show.
It's always chaos here.
Call us at.
And you are actually hanging out in our living room, except Dershey's not here, unfortunately. He's in the state called Florida.
Yeah. Anyway, join us by giving us a call, please, and join the conversation here. 201-439-8092. That's 201-439-8092. You're going to need a show ID. Show ID is 820-07366. It's posted on YouTube, and it's on the screen right now. Please give us a call. We'd love to talk to you and have you give your 2 cents about tonight's topics, which are what, Chuck?
Well, first of all, join us in the chat room. I see Robin is already in there saying hello to us. So please come on. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Patriot Journalist, go to the chat area, say hello to us, and join on in. We are very interactive. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about NASCAR, of course. Really good stuff this weekend, to be honest. Biffle, a name from the past that came out of absolutely nowhere, won the truck race.
But as Kyle Busch says, if you can't win in his truck, then you can't win.
He's probably right, though.
Well, then how come the other 2 trucks can't win?
Well, they're not as talented as Biffle.
Well, then he's wrong.
Well, that's true. Well, Kyle Busch is rather full of himself anyway, don't you think?
Yes, he is.
And full of other things as well.
Well, yes, he is. Busch.
Yes. So,
oh, wait, I didn't say that.
No, that's another guy.
No.
I know. But Busch, that's another topic. I hate that commercial. So, Greg Biffle, he's been out of NASCAR for quite a long time now, probably close to 10 years, I imagine.
2.5.
Is that all?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Mm-hmm. And he's been out of trucks. He hadn't 15. Been in a truck for 15 years.
15. See, I listened to.
Hops in a Kyle Busch truck.
He's been out of NASCAR for 2.5.
I didn't realize that. I thought it had been longer.
No. Remember when they just didn't give him a ride that one year?
So now there's this guy won the race. He freaking won, which was really cool because he hadn't won for a long time before he left NASCAR anyway. And now they're talking about hopefully getting him into a truck a couple more races, if not more than that. Maybe next year. Who knows? And, you know, the funny thing is the truck series used to be where the former drivers went after they got through with Cup. And it would be really, really cool, in my opinion, if that were to happen again. What do you think, Mrs. Nellis?
Well, I was listening to Dave Moody on the way home.
He's awesome.
As I do sometimes. Not always, because sometimes I want to hear stupid rednecks on the radio, and sometimes I don't. But not him, the people that call in.
Oh, I thought you meant NPR.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's not even funny.
I'm just goofing around. Go ahead.
Okay, that doesn't... No, No.
Go ahead, continue.
Anyway,
I'm just joking.
No, NPR is not stupid rednecks on the radio.
I just had to do that.
That's...
I know. I'm just messing. Go ahead.
Okay.
So you're listening to Moody.
Really? That's pissed me off, by the way.
I'm sorry, I was messing. Moody.
No, if I wanted to listen to stupid rednecks on the radio...
you'd listen to Moody.
I'd listen to Rush Limbaugh or
I see. Let's see, that's fair. That's
NPR, no, seriously, NPR doesn't even have call-ins.
I know what NPR is. I'm just joking. I was really just joking. So anyway, I was just, go ahead. Moody.
So.
I love Moody. He's great.
No, so they were talking about it, and people were saying that they would love to see retired drivers come back to Truck Series.
That would be wonderful.
Because right now it's like a preschool, which, I mean, that is what it is.
Right.
But, you know, if the older guy's coming back and look what he did. He hadn't been in a truck in 15 years. Probably wasn't even the same setup, the same anything, and he killed it. He killed it. So.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool because the thing I keep hearing over and over, and from my own observations over the years, is seeing the mature truck NASCAR drivers in trucks later in their lives are still more talented, even though the reflexes aren't quite to cup level anymore. But the kids that are coming up are learning these skills, how to drive, how to enter corners, how to exit corners, how to gain speed here, there, and everywhere from the cup guys. Like if Biffle was in for a whole season, I guarantee he'll influence 10 guys in how they drive. Because he was a very skilled driver. He wasn't the best driver, but he was very skilled. Comments, anyone?
Well, Chuck, I agree with you, but see, the funny thing is, everybody yells when, Kyle Busch goes back down to the Truck Series or, the Xfinity Series.
I don't think that's the same thing, though.
Well,
a retired driver comes back.
Well, he's dominating, he's currently dominating in the Cup Series. It's not like he's in the twilight of his career.
Yeah, no, they were talking about retired drivers coming back into...
Right, but what difference does it make? What happens if Jeff, Gordon comes out of retirement and wants to go drive down there? I mean,
that'd be fun.
But he was never a truck driver, really.
But the point is,
but if he did, he dominated.
But Biffle did make his way up through trucks.
Yeah, that's where he came up.
Right,
he has a championship.
So what they were saying was like the old truck drivers that made their way up through trucks, through Xfinity.
Oh, just truck drivers. Well, that would be cool.
No. Well, yeah, that's where they started.
Right.
And then they came up through Cup, and then they eventually made their way back.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
I like it. I think it's great to see him again.
And Harrison Burton was saying that he really appreciated him being there that weekend because he learned a lot from him.
I bet he did.
And he leaned on him a lot. So.
Well, my point was just that, I like when Kyle Busch drives down there. I don't like Kyle Busch. I'm not a fan. But, my point is I don't have a problem with any of the Xfinity drivers going back to the trucks or, the Cup drivers going to Xfinity. Because, if you don't learn to compete against the best and learn how to beat the best, you're not really helping. And if you're just racing all the other kindergartners, what's the big deal? So
that's true. If your talent's only equal to theirs, right? But I didn't realize that Biffle had only been gone 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I thought it doesn't seem like it was longer.
I was hoping it was longer, but I guess not.
That's not nice.
He was in really bad Roush equipment at the time. That was really at the very bottom of their talent. After what's his face had left and gone to Joe Gibbs and driven the 19, Carl Edwards. When he left, that was pretty much the end of them being competitive. So, anyway, let's move on. We had during the Cup race there was a rain delay. How long was that rain delay? I don't even know. It was quite a while.
27 hours.
27 hours.
It's about 27 hours, 28 hours.
It felt like it, didn't it?
No, it was.
It was, because they
The race
postponed
was
it.
supposed to be on at 2 o'clock, and then it was on at
Oh,
5
that's
o'clock the
true.
next day, so it's 27 hours.
Oh, that was freaking
I
brilliant.
can do math in my
Yes, it
head.
got rained out, so it was on the next day at 5 p.m., which was kind of neat on a Monday night having a 5 p.m. race. It's not something you often see. Usually when there's a Monday race after a rain out on Sundays, it's traditionally like 11 or 12 o'clock the next day, so that the people who stayed there at the campground can get out and go home after the race. But this time they did it for prime time almost.
Well, no, they didn't do it for that reason. They
No?
did it because that's when the rain was definitely supposed
Oh,
to be
okay.
gone.
Oh,
They
okay.
didn't
Yeah.
do it for prime time.
I would have done it for prime time.
Well, no, they did it because that was their assurity that
Oh,
the
okay.
race, the racing
I've
was
been
gonna be
corrected. That's
No.
very good.
At least
done.
that's
So
what
I
they-
heard that.
That's what they said. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
that's the truth.
Right. They've been known to do. You okay?
Yeah, no.
She bapped herself. Yeah,
That,
no.
no, that hurt.
Aw.
Yeah, it was
She hit her Sennheisers attacked her.
Ugh. First
Her
your truck attacked me,
headphone attack.
and now my headphone attacked me.
You're having a day, aren't you?
Yeah, no. So they did it at 5 o'clock so that they knew that the rain would. Or
I would-
they hoped that
Right.
the rain. At least that's their premise.
I would have done it for the reason that everyone's getting home from work between
Yeah.
those time
Except for
periods,
the fact
and
that-
an awful lot of people are clicking the channels looking for the sports shows in the
Except for the
afternoons.
fact that.
Oh wow, there's a race on. Yes, ma'am.
Except for the fact that.
Except for the fact.
All the crew members and all the racers had a week off and already had plans.
Oh,
So
that kind of sucks.
they were so mad.
Oh,
I mean, that screwed them over for all their,
right,
Well-
vacation. I mean, they really have a week off.
right.
So that totally screwed them over. So they're really not happy about that. So maybe they did it for that reason. Maybe they did it for the rain.
Right.
We don't know. But,
Well, I can tell you exactly why they did it.
Yes.
They did it because we're going to talk about it in a little bit. Because the last World Cup game finished at 5 o'clock. That's why they did it.
Ah.
World
that
Cup's
makes
on Fox.
sense.
Ah.
Oh, now
So-
we have the
and
real
so
reason.
Screw NASCAR
Yeah.
people.
Screw the NASCAR employees.
We would love to. We would love to hear.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it really worked perfectly for a time
Yeah,
slot for
and-
me.
and I
was
understand-
like, oh
I
boy.
understand,
Except
but-
I forgot about the first 20 minutes of the race. Lisa's
No,
like, isn't there
no,
a race
you forgot
on?
about the first hour of the
Oh,
race.
it was an hour. Lisa's like, isn't there a race on? I went, oh shit, I forgot all about it.
You forgot about the first hour of the race.
Oh well, it was the first segment, and let's face it, the first segment. Who cares if you miss it? I actually caught the last 3 laps of it, which was more than
Yeah,
enough.
that's so funny. Them trying to
It's interesting.
conflagrate the
Dershie,
soccer
I
and
think
racing.
you've solved it.
Well,
Oh yeah, but that's so funny that them trying to put those two together because they have, except for maybe me and Dershie, they have zero interaction.
Which is a perfect lead-in for our next
No,
topic.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying though?
but
They're
except
always trying to do the NASCAR and soccer thing.
Yeah.
They really don't have any interaction whatsoever.
Well, the people in the calls have balls.
right, but they're both on Fox, which is the problem. Fox isn't going
Oh,
to
that's
put.
it. That's
Yeah.
like
Both
that's
on Fox.
basically only it. That's the only.
Well, that's the key.
That's-
Absolutely. Let's face it. Advertising and self-promotion is the whole deal. for
Yeah,
these
it's all
guys.
about the money. They're not going to compete
Oh,
against
yeah.
themselves.
Absolutely. It's all about the money. Yep.
So now we're going to talk about the women's.
So now
World
we're
Cup.
gonna
wait,
actually talk-
By the way, Joey Logano won that race.
Oh, yeah. All right. Joey. Go Joey. And go
Joey.
Penske. The only thing that's a bummer is Ryan Blaney still hasn't won.
Well,
Dang
he
it.
will.
He will. I know he will.
Right.
And it's got to really be tearing him up because of the fact that. Is it hurting your sound?
No, it's hurting the fact that somebody chewed on my wire.
Cat. Joe. It's nice to see Joey win, but it's got to be eating on Ryan that he hasn't won yet, and all the other and
Well,
Kez and Joey have won multiple times.
if they just give Blaney Joey's pit crew for one race, he'd win one.
There you go, right?
That would be
I
nice.
know.
That would be very nice because Joey has one hell of a pit crew.
Oh, and Blaney has not one hell of a pit crew.
Blaney has the worst pit crew in all racing, I think. But they
did pretty good this time, though.
Yeah, but they're responsible for more losses for him than anybody. I mean, they're just horrible sometimes.
I think he has the Penske training
going in
now.
Going in first and coming out 12th.
Honey.
He's done that more than once.
I think he has the Penske training crew right now.
It's something, but it's ridiculous. I don't think he's gone into the pits first or second probably a dozen times, and he's never come out first or second. Never.
No. He comes out 6th, 8th, 12th, 14th. I know. I agree totally.
And then when they do get him out in time, then he has a loose wheel and has to come back in and goes down a lap.
I know.
Yeah, he has a sucky pit crew. We'll all agree on that.
Well, they got to fix it. I don't know if it's his pit chief or the pit crew because
it's all of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I think he needs a new crew chief just to get a different relationship because his crew chief takes too much of Ryan going F this, blind this. He should really take more of a parental role and say, shut up, get to work. I think. Because he's kind of, he's a great kid, but he's a little bit whiny sometimes on the track.
That's where that goes back to that crying thing.
Goes back to when he was a kid. We were saying, did you guys see, what was it, Junior?
No, it was on
NBC.
No, the
FS1?
I think it was the FS1. Was it the one that Moody is on?
That would be
Race Hub.
Race Hub, right.
Race Hub.
So they had this thing on Race Hub about Ryan with his dad, and apparently when he was little, he was always mopey and crying and stuff like that.
Until he was like about 8.
Right.
But nothing's changed.
And then he became a race car driver and was expected to whine, cry, and complain.
So he's a whiny boy.
Yeah. So he's a little bit of a whiner.
But his dad says he thinks he'll get over it because Kyle Busch was a whiner and he got over it.
Yep.
He has?
Exactly.
What yesterday?
Maybe.
Like a week ago.
If Kyle Busch doesn't win, he's going to whine. It really comes down to one or the other.
Who's the ultimate whiner?
Oh, Jeff.
Richard Petty.
Oh yeah, he really is a whiner.
Sorry.
Yeah, he is.
Well, my wife's a pretty good whiner. I just have to say that. But.
That'll get you points. She probably doesn't listen anyway.
Usually red wine, but sometimes it's white. But.
Yeah.
Sangria.
Sometimes sangria, yeah. All right, Chuck. What's the next topic we got going tonight?
We got Women's World Cup Soccer.
World Cup Soccer. We got our women. I don't know the players' names yet. I'm sure we'll get to know all those over time. Lisa, do you know many? Dershie, I'm sure you know them all.
All right. First of all,
yes.
I'd like to say that I'm friends with Cindy Parlow.
Who
has been in the Women's World Cup. Sorry, won the Women's World Cup, I think 3 times?
Yeah, I think it was 3 times.
I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Does you probably know. I worked for...
Unless she's 40 years old, it's probably only twice.
Well, yes, she is.
She is.
Okay, so she may have, then.
She was with, what's her face? She was on that amazing UNC team.
Yeah, so I volunteer work for the largest youth soccer club in the nation right now, which is North Carolina FC Youth. I'm a registrar for them, and she is one of the directors of coaching for the women's side.
Right.
And I've gotten to meet her and hang out with her and be friends with her, and it's kind of cool.
That's neat. She's got quite a legacy.
So she has, actually, hold on.
That's cool.
You can talk for a second.
Yeah. So this team is supposed to be quite amazing, and supposed to get gold or win it as the case may be?
Well,
so she is
they should.
She is 41.
Then she probably was on
she's 41.
She's
the first gold medal team, which beat
Four-time
China.
All-American, member of 3 teams
She
that won the
was on that team.
Here you go.
Yep, go ahead.
4-time All-American, member of 3 teams that won the NCAA's Herman Trophy twice, ACC Female Athlete of the Year. Right behind Mia Hamm.
Right, that's who I was thinking of, Mia Hamm. She was with her the whole time.
Right, she played with Mia Hamm.
Yep.
I knew Mia Hamm.
Through
She
college.
had to retire from post-concussion syndrome. Thanks, Chuck, who hit me on the head, by the way.
My truck did. I didn't. I was in the house. Don't blame me for my truck's actions. So she played. You said you met Mia Hamm?
I
Me?
know her.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to go to church with her.
Oh, you know her?
Yeah, very well.
Really?
Went to church with her. My daughter played for her soccer team when she was in elementary school.
How very cool.
She's married to Nosmar. That's what we call him.
Knows more.
Garcia Parra.
Oh, he's a great player.
Yeah.
He really was. I always liked that guy. Classy. So that's cool. So she lives near you?
She lives in Central Florida. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's still here.
She used to live up here. She used to live in Chapel Hill.
Apparently she moved to Orlando.
Well, she's
area.
smart then, I guess.
I also
Yeah.
I also know
Yes, sir.
oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of her name. My brain
One of those
just went,
blonde-haired girls with the
my
ponytail.
brain
right?
went blank. No.
Let me guess, the short
Montgomery,
blonde-haired girl that...
No, not short. Tall.
I can't remember her
short
first name. We used to call her
blonde hair.
Montgomery. I worked with her. She, I'll think of her first name in a second, but she was Yankowski. Also played on that team, and she's on the a reserve on those first 2 World Cup teams. She never made the final team,
Cool.
but she was there too. Kim Yankowski. She's Kim Montgomery now. She's back in your area and actually working with the number 2 team.
Oh yeah, she was the second highest goal scorer in U.S. history.
Your friend?
Cindy Farlow.
That's cool.
Well,
So,
Morgan,
do you know
Morgan's
this
gonna
girl,
beat her.
Kim Jankowski?
No.
She's apparently with one of the clubs, maybe?
Well, she might be newer. I only know the old people. Sorry. Seriously, I do.
It's because you're old.
I'm old.
I know. So,
Anyway.
I'm a little bit
I just-
behind the curve on this
I'm just
one. Who
like-
knows most about this? Do you know
No,
much
I'm
about
sure
the team yet? Or I guess we're going to talk about it more as it goes along.
And okay, the only thing I want to say about the 13-0
Oh,
is people giving them crap
Well, you
about
got-
that.
Tell the story then. Okay.
Shut up. Nobody would be saying crap about this. That it was, offensive or excessive or extra celebratory or whatever. If it was a men's basketball team or a men's soccer team or anything, really, you scored a goal in a World Cup game. What are you supposed to do? Take the ball and take it to the porta potty with you?
For those who don't
I've
know
been to-
what
okay, I've
Lisa's
been to a
talking,
game.
for those who don't know what Lisa's talking about, the women's
The USA beat Thailand
we beat
13 to
Thailand
nothing.
13-0, and some
And
people
they took extra touches.
and some people
And
are
yes, they let the bench play. They didn't just slam on them repeatedly over and over and
apparently
over.
Thailand was an exceptionally weak team.
And yet they made the World Cup. So
Well, that
No,
doesn't
but-
mean anything. No, Thailand is
That doesn't mean
ranked
anything.
number 37 in the world in,
Right.
in
okay, well
women's
maybe we
soccer.
should have let the men's team in instead of them. Ha! How about that? The USA men's team.
They'd
'Cause
probably
maybe
lose.
that would have helped.
The men's team would probably lose.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
what I'm saying is, though, nobody would be really pouncing on them saying they shouldn't have done this had it been a men's team in another sport, like, say, in the World Series, okay? Say in the World Series there would have been a game where it would have been like 23-0.
There has been, and Nets are usually on the bottom end of those.
But okay, listen to me. But what I'm saying is, that was uncalled for. Nobody would be saying that.
I'm not. I think I think it's very simple. The women kicked ass.
Right, and I mean they reduced their squad. They took extra touches. I've been to a game where it's been like that. It's basically like playing cones. That's what we used to call it. We're playing cones. Because you can't, really, you can't not score on them.
I understand.
It's really difficult. And you're in the World Cup. You're gonna fucking score. Oops, sorry. You're gonna.
There's a dollar.
There's a dollar. You're gonna score a goal. I mean, what are you gonna do?
There's a
dollar. Are you gonna pick up the ball with your hand and hand it to them and go, here's a red card?
Yeah. You really
so
can't
it's difficult.
do that either. But I
mean, I at first when I saw it, I was like 13-0. Well, that's excessive. But then I thought about it, and I was like,
there was a number of records broken yesterday. The most points scored in any single game in a cup game, right?
Not points, goals.
Yeah, it was the most points scored, beating Germany, who held it for 8 years when they won 11-1 two World Cups ago. It was the most goals scored in a half ever in either men's or women's World Cup.
And what about
this lady,
Alex Morgan tied the record.
5 goals.
5 goals have tied the record.
Tie for the record.
She also.
And somebody said she had an excessive celebration, though.
No, that was Megan Rapinoe, and Megan Rapinoe scored when we were already up 5-0, and then the same thing happened later, where it was a goal scored that really had a big celebration, and a lot of people. It was like,
okay, why is that excessive? Why is that excessive?
Well, I don't have any problem with them winning 13-0, so we'll start with that.
No, I mean, why is the celebration
why
excessive?
was it considered excessive?
Well,
if you score a goal in the World Cup, I want to know why.
Well, it's like them doing the hulas in the end zones.
Were they pointing fingers? Were they baring their breasts? No, they weren't.
Maybe they were delaying the game.
No, they weren't.
No,
they weren't.
Megan Rapinoe scored. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it was the 9th goal. Is what I thought. It's the 9th goal, and she had, and she, was running. I mean, at that point, it's fine. You're scoring a goal. Be happy. Hug your friends. Go on. But what she did, I thought, was excessive as well. Alex Morgan scored the 8th and the 10th goal and didn't do that. And then the worst one was Carly Lloyd. Now, Carly Lloyd has been on a major drought, and she's lost playing time for the team. She no longer starts. If you remember, Carly Lloyd had a hat trick to win the World Cup against Japan 4 years ago.
Right. I remember that.
And
I remember that.
She scored the 13th goal and had a massive in the 93rd minute, and did a massive celebration.
Wow.
And
that's awesome.
There's a line you have to draw. When you beat somebody in soccer by 13 goals, let's show a little class. Take the ball back to the middle of the field. Let's start,
Go
and
on
then continue.
Abby Wambach's Twitter feed and read that and see how she feels about that.
How long had this girl not had a goal?
It's been quite a while. I mean, she is on a major drought, so I can understand.
Let me just say one thing before you do. Okay. If it had been a major drought, I would have had the entire team cheering with her. Because if there's somebody who needed it emotionally, it's a girl that's been on a major drought. So in her case, woman, I'm a fucking, I'm old enough to be a grandfather at this point. They're all girls.
These women are older,
they're not as old.
Almost 40.
Okay, well, it's still my daughter. They could still be my daughter easily, so they'd still be a girl. Yes, go ahead. When you're done,
Abby Wambach. For all that have issues with that many goals, for some players, this is their first World Cup goal, and they should be excited.
Yeah, but it wasn't Carly Lloyd
out there. This is your dream of playing and then scoring in a World Cup. Celebrate. Would you tell a men's team not to score or celebrate?
But Carly Lloyd has, though.
She's not her. She's talking about the other people that scored.
We're talking about Carly Lloyd.
Abby is talking about.
Okay. Well, in some cases, I can definitely understand it. I'm not mad about it.
But if men would have never been.
Why do you keep bringing up the men?
Because, first of all, the men suck, so it would never happen.
I don't think the standards would be held different if the men's was up.
Yes, it would have, because listen.
If the men
tell Lisa to shut up. No, I'm talking.
I started the sentence.
If you got mad at my boss for telling me to do that this week.
If it's 10-0, I started the sentence. If it's 10-0, just give me 1 second. If it's 10-0, and a dude scores, I would expect him to just pick up the ball and walk away. Pretty much.
And not let his other teammates score.
No. Nothing about not letting them score, just how you react after you score.
Right. That's the only problem I have. And I don't care if it's male or female or transgender. It doesn't matter. I don't have a problem with the scoring.
It's just respect for the other team because you're destroying them.
I don't care if they score 13 or 30 goals. You know, if you can score 30 goals in a game, go for it.
Yeah.
It's just how do you react after a while. Now, I agree with what Abby's saying.
If you're the first person that's ever scored that goal, you're not supposed to celebrate, even though you've already had 30? Like, say, all the other people on the team, say, 3 of the people on the team scored 29 goals. And then you're the 30th, the one person out there, the 4th person out there that scored that 30th goal. You're not supposed to celebrate?
Not excessively.
Okay, but here's the thing.
At that point, you've got...
No. Let me talk.
I am.
We're in the World Cup. For some reason, your team is blowing everybody else away. And say one person scored 10 goals, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to go out there and you score a goal, and it's the 11th goal of all the goals, and it's 11-0. Because it's the 11th goal, you're not allowed to celebrate, even though you're the one person that scored that goal in the World Cup.
Okay.
Really?
No, Lisa.
Yes, excessive.
The only word.
In the World Cup.
Lisa, that's a nice scenario, but that's not what happened. The women who scored scored their first goals scored the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th goals of the game. Everybody else who scored after that point has been in World Cups and has already scored goals in World Cups.
Oh, so they should be more sedate, like proper women should be.
No, men.
You're right.
You didn't hear what I just said at all about the men when they're up 10-0? The same rules apply. You show decorum.
No rules.
Yes, there's decorum. Yes.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Are the men in the World Cup? Are the men in the World Cup?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment, and not next year.
That's not the point.
Yeah, sure
that is not the point. We're
talking
about talking about the core.
Not follow their example.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about what any team does.
The men are not.
Any team.
No.
Any team in soccer. Men or women, any country of the world. When you get to a certain point in the game where you're destroying a team, you do not excessively celebrate. It's as old as soccer itself.
It's not just soccer; it's any sport.
It's not actually.
It's mostly. It's definitely soccer.
You're just making shit up at this point because you don't even
tell me I'm wrong, Dersh.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. As a coach, I coached, baseball, softball, basketball.
As a coach, that's funny.
He's been a coach for
a
years.
A professional coach?
No, for kids.
I coached high school and
hey,
college.
I like that. What's that? Where'd that come from?
That was
Sorry?
Jerry. I coached.
Hi, Jerry.
I started coaching at 15 years old, and I coached the t-ball. I coached all the way through high school, and I've coached college teams. And at every point, if you are, my teams always were taught not to embarrass the team.
By the way.
It doesn't matter.
Right,
it's
I
decorum.
was also told this today. This is not school soccer or not professional soccer. This is World Cup. It doesn't apply.
Absolutely applies.
Good sportsmanship doesn't
always
apply.
Always applies.
Always
Again,
applies.
I don't have a problem with the 13 goals. I have a problem with how.
Like say in basketball, in pro basketball, if you ran up the score, somebody would go, "Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous."
No,
when they would drop the ball in and go back to the other end of the court, not excessively jump up and down.
Okay. Well,
we're talking about sportsmanship. Is all we're talking about.
Okay. Well, if this weren't women, we wouldn't be talking about it.
No, we talk about it, men, women, anybody.
Wrong.
Could be.
Okay. All right.
Could be little purple people.
Get back to me when you're the parent of a professional soccer player.
He's a boy.
Exactly. Get back to me
He's
when
a boy.
you are the parent of a professional soccer player.
You asked your son.
We talked about it last night.
Asked your son about good sportsmanship.
We talked about it
last night. Ask him about the sportsmanship.
We talked about this game last night
Did
at
you talk
dinner.
about the sportsmanship
yes,
aspect? Yeah,
he was
what did he
fine
say?
with it.
Excessive sportsmanship.
It wasn't excessive.
Okay.
He says if he was in the World Cup, he would be freaking excited about it as well.
Okay, fine. Wow.
All right, so
well, that was supposed to be a good conversation.
Do you have a
Yes, I do. I have a lovely stepson who I went to quite a few games with.
And we talked about it last night. Did you?
I did with not you.
Right. And did Dershey? Does he have a child that's a professional soccer player?
That's got nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does.
We
talked about it last night. He was fine with it.
It has nothing to do with it.
Everyone's got their own opinion of it.
Exactly. That's why we're talking about it.
Mostly we're arguing here, it seems.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were supposed to.
And mostly it's been about women versus men. And that's not exactly the point of the conversation.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sorry.
What I was trying to emphasize in this is that we've got an awesome female soccer team this year, and they're probably going to go really far. Don't you think, Miss Lisa? What do you think, Dersh?
Well, I mean, they should win it. Again, you got to remember they played the worst team in the World Cup last night. So we'll see when they start get to the knockout round. And they got Sweden coming up, next week. That should be a much better look at how good they're going to be. We're going to be playing Chile, which Chile's ranked like 23rd, 24th, coming up on who they got Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday they got Chile, and then they got Sweden. So Sweden would be the first real challenge I have because Sweden's number 9 in the world.
Alrighty.
I don't want it to be me versus everybody else all the time. I just really don't.
So Lisa's feeling like it's her versus everybody else, and I don't see that in this case at all. I think it was a matter of sportsmanship, and she disagrees. But she's thrown her headphones on the floor and decided she's quitting.
No, now you can go do your
No,
show.
you pick up your headphones.
Why?
Because you don't just quit in the middle of a show.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Dad.
Okay, or you could be like Jason.
Well, first of all, our show's over.
No, it's not. We didn't get started till late. No, we didn't. So anyway, I had one more topic to cover I'm not going to get back in the Women's World Cup because that went poorly. Getting old. The fun and joy of that. Lisa, what is your favorite thing to do with your keys?
Buy a tile.
What is that?
Look it up. Buy a tile.
No, Lisa, tell people who are trying to figure out how to not lose their keys and stuff what to do.
Buy a tile.
What is a tile?
Look it up. Google tile. Tile.
I bought one for my wife. The problem is that she loses the beeper to find the tile, so that's I got to buy a tile.
Well, you have to hook it up to your phone.
I know.
So if you lose your phone and the tile, then you're screwed. But
or if you don't have the Bluetooth on, then your tile can't find your phone, and your phone can't find your tile.
That's true.
The thing I do like about tile though,
Jerry's joined us.
If something connected to something gets stolen or lost, if someone in the network walks by it beeps and lets them know that you're looking for it. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because my mail keys have been in my son's or my truck that I let my son borrow, and every once in a while it'll be like, "Did you know your mail keys are in Raleigh?" Well, yes I do. Thanks for letting me know. But seriously, if there's something that you misplace all the time, just buy the tile and stick it on there, because it's way easier than walking around going, "Where the hell is my iPad? Where the hell are my keys?" Just it's way easier. Just do it. Just do it. If you're over 50, just do it.
And my biggest thing is, remember, I've always been the kind of person who kept everything in my head.
You think?
And no, I always did. I ran my company, my life, did it.
Yeah, you think.
No. You didn't know me then. You ditched me then.
No, I'm talking about the last 10 years when you've been telling me that it's been in your head, but it hasn't been.
It's just slid a little bit in the last 10 years is what it's done. What I'm trying to say is I grew up running companies and doing stuff, and I always just kept everything in my head, and I was able to do it and get everything that I needed to get done for decades and decades and decades. But in the last decade or so, it's getting a little bit iffy, where I forgot exactly where I was supposed to take the dog, I think, the other day for her haircut.
Oh, that poor woman.
I walked into this woman's place at 8 a.m. going, "I'm here for the dog appointment." She's going, "I don't know if you have a dog appointment." I said, "Well, I've got your name and number in my phone, and I probably wouldn't have it here unless..."
Oh, and you would have fought with her, by the way.
Well, everybody would have debated that.
No, you would have. You would have.
But she just said, "Okay, she seems like a nice dog. I'll go ahead and take care of her." And she turned out to do such a nice job on this on Sadie that she looks like a completely new dog. She said she literally took 5 pounds of fur off of her.
But then you told me an hour later, "Oh shit, the lady from the other dog place called me and said, 'Why isn't your dog here this morning?'"
No.
And you're like,
so it turns out I did screw it up. Oh well. So the new lady says, "Well, I don't care where you were supposed to have taken her the first time. I'm glad she ended up here." And she said, "If you don't get her here every 10 to 12 weeks, I'm gonna be bugging you, because I don't ever want to see her fur looking like Rasta dog again."
But the point is
that my memory shot the shit.
But the point is that you would have argued the fact that...
No, that wasn't the point of this at all.
No, it was.
No, that wasn't at all.
Because I remembered it. I remembered that I was supposed to be there because it was in my phone.
But if she had told me no, I would have gone home, Lisa. I would have.
No, you wouldn't have. You were like, "Look, your
What do you think
number..."
I was going to do? Beat her into submission?
No, you would have been like, "Look, your number's in my phone."
But if she had said, "I'm sorry, I can't help you," I would have just been like, "Okay."
Well, yeah, you would have been okay, but you would have been like later, like, "I know I called her. I know I did, because her number's in my phone."
That's just what people do.
Not most
What?
people, but...
What's your point? Got a point? Or
Yeah.
are you just bitching about me?
No, my point is that you should write shit down.
Oh, my point is, I totally agree with that. What I do now is I put things in my calendar as an appointment because otherwise I don't remember. That was the actual point, not just a bash on Chuck.
It was not a bash on Chuck.
Yes, that was exactly what that
was. No, it was not a bash on Chuck.
Okay.
Most people put things on their calendar.
Right, I know.
And have been.
I know, but not pointing out that I would have been argumentative for no point at all.
But you would have, though.
See, again, no point.
Yeah, it's my point. You would have been like, but I remember this in my head.
But that was not what...
No, it's true. That is our point. That you should put stuff on your calendar and not try and remember it in your head. That's not bashing you. Because
you're trying to make me sound more argumentative than I am, and I'm not.
Because you took the dog to the wrong place.
I know. I admitted that. I even told her that I did that.
That's the only point.
I haven't told her that I did that.
Right, that's the only point.
Yeah.
It's not argumentative.
Right, okay. So, between tiles and calendars, it's a good way for people to keep track of where you put things. Like Lisa is forever losing her purse or keys or your phone. That's the other thing.
No, well, yeah.
What do you have tiles on? Your keys for one.
You don't have to have a tile on your phone because.
Well, that's true. That's what you use.
Right.
Okay.
Because on a Mac you have Find My Phone, and then it beeps.
Right, that's true. That's true. On a Mac you have Find My Phone, but you put them on your keys, and you could put them on anything else. Me, I wish I could just put them on my memory.
Put them on your glasses.
That would look Urkel glasses. Can I do that?
Put them on the side. No, I put them on my different sets of keys.
Thank you for putting that up, Dershie.
Different sets of keys for different cars.
Right.
And for example, my boss stuck one on his laptop.
Right.
If he leaves it somewhere, then he can find it, or your iPad, or whatever you think you're gonna lay down somewhere and you're not gonna be able to find.
That's great.
And they're not that much money.
Right.
And and you know what? You could be like, oh gosh, I'm getting old. I can't find it. I should be able to find it. But you know what? Just stick one of those damn things on there and be done with it.
Well, the reality is that we all become older and we forget things, and stuff happens.
It saves so much time. Just buy the damn tile and stick it on there.
Yeah.
And this is not endorsed by Tile.
And I guess I will admit we also get more curmudgeonly as we get older, too. You do, too. We all do. Even Dershie does, as nice as he is.
No, I don't.
I didn't say
no, you don't.
Nice.
Get off my lawn!
Get off my Dershie lawn. Damn it.
Get off my Dershie lawn?
Yeah. Okay. He said that.
Darcy.
I have a pleasant and demeanor all the time.
You learned that in kindergarten, didn't you?
You did?
Still don't know what the word demeanor means.
Right.
I've read you tweet a lot. I didn't see demeanor in those things you said to those people.
No. In kindergarten, they taught him that because he went to private school. I am a nice boy. I will be nice to other people all the time. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you sit in the front of the class or the back of the class, Dershie?
He's probably a middle boy.
I was the class, so,
what?
So that means you were in the back row like me.
Were you homeschooled?
No. Actually, I went to private school until high school.
I know.
And,
well, how come you were the only how were you all the class?
Because he was bad to the bone, is what he's trying to say.
It's class in a different definition than a bunch of...
I gotcha. But we wanted to know where you sat in the class.
Like me, I was always in the back row.
Well...
Always.
Yeah, it depends on what school. When you had an opportunity, I sat in the back, but most of the time we had assigned seats, and So
I hate the
So they made you sit up front because you were dirty, right?
Through private school,
Right?
though, like one of the biggest classes I had was 12 people. So there wasn't really a
They
front
still
or a
made you
back
sit
row.
up front. Right?
Oh, really? You had a small school, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think 12 people can sit up front, though.
Well,
It was a circle.
yeah, semicircles. Most of the classes were the semicircles.
Oh, you were all special. I get it.
Right.
You were all special.
Well, it's a good teaching method, really.
Not really, no.
I've been in small classes
No,
like
not
that.
really. Not that.
The
not
school
really.
I went to in St. Croix was some pretty small
Yeah,
classes
if everybody
like that.
has to sit up front, screw that. That's not a bad word, by the way.
No.
No, it's not.
Whenever I had the opportunity, I sat in the back row
Exactly.
where you could
If there was
talk and
12
raise
people,
heck.
there was 12 people, there should be 12 rows.
One line going
Exactly.
back.
Who wants to sit up front? Not me.
But the one guy's in the hall.
But there's the one guy up front going, hey, I want to sit up front.
Arnold Horshack.
Teacher.
Oh. Hello, my name is Arnold
Trust me,
Horshack.
I have to do real estate class to this day.
No.
Nobody wants to sit up front.
No.
Nobody.
It's a thing.
Nobody.
Nobody wants to be the Urkel.
Well, first of all, we don't want to be there. And they make us do it.
Nobody ever wanted to be in any school, really.
Well, no, that's
unless
not
it was
true.
something you
That's
wanted
not
to do.
true. There were always a bunch of little kids that always wanted to be in the front row.
No, that's true.
When they were younger, until they beat it out of us until we didn't want to anymore.
You were one of them.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I was not.
You weren't a front rower? I mean, you were reading it, too.
No, honey. Okay. Here's the thing.
Yes.
I was a smart person.
Right.
I didn't want to be in the front row of somebody that didn't know how to teach anything to anybody.
Oh, there's the rub.
Right? I mean,
I
does
get
that
you.
make sense?
Yep.
Oh, teacher. I want to be up the front to listen to you to
Do what?
tell me something that I already know. Thank you very much.
No, I know, but you're one of those exceptions. You were
Right.
an amazing student. Yeah.
No, I didn't want to be one of those little shiny people that I know the answer. I know the
Arnold
answer.
Horshacks.
No. I respect
I was
it all.
more likely one of those people that when the teacher called my name, I went, what?
I respected all of my teachers in elementary school and middle school until I got to high school and realized that they didn't know what the freak they were talking about. Does that make sense?
Oh, I've had a lot of teachers
I know.
like that.
I was very respectful of teachers up until I got to high school, and then I realized that some of them were brilliant, some of them
Right.
were dumb as a rock.
Well, yeah, some of them were the most brilliant people you're ever going to meet
Like
that made a
that-
difference in your
like
life. And
who?
some of them you
Mr.
just
Sam
went.
Sell.
And like for me, Martha Dummikin.
Right, or Mr. Right. I
Who's
mean,
who's the
everybody.
most influential teacher you ever had?
My dad.
Oh, that's cool. Your dad was your teacher?
Yes, my dad started the computer
Oh, cool.
program at Seminole Community College here locally
Oh, cool.
in 1975, and
Well, you got to give him props for that. Okay, you win.
He doesn't win.
Well, no, it's not a contest. I mean, that's pretty cool. My dad was a teacher, but he was in things that were way beyond my scope when I was a young dude, and then he stopped teaching by the time I was old enough to really appreciate it. That's awesome. But you know the
Not
thing
only
is,
that, your dad is very condescending.
oh yes,
So I would bet that nobody named him as their favorite teacher.
of all time now.
I also had
Probably not.
I had my mom in fifth and sixth grade, and also in
Really?
in graduate school. Yep.
You better take that back and make your mom the most important teacher, because otherwise, mom ain't gonna be happy.
Well, let me tell you. So my dad, like I said, my dad did started the computer school, program at SEC, and the most brilliant thing he ever did was not to force me to go into computers. If he'd have forced me to go into computers,
Get you into computers?
then I wouldn't
Yes.
I wouldn't want to have. All he asked me to do was just take the intro class. He said, "You take that. If you don't like it, you don't ever have to come back. Don't do anything else." I took the first class. It was like breathing to me. It was one of the most easiest with logical things. Changed my major.
Yep.
And graduated in computer science. Graduated in computer science and
that's true.
Taught computers for 33 and a half years. So, like I said,
fantastic.
Computers only make sense.
That's
to some
really
people.
cool, man. I was thinking about your computer career. You could have left teaching early in that thing and jumped on IBM or somebody and surfed into some huge money, but instead you taught many kids how to use computers.
Alright, you know what? We're done with our show because you're doing the You and Darcy show anyway. So
no, we weren't.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
we are anyway.
Well, anyway,
That's what
well
you
then
do.
come over here and say goodnight officially,
I'm done.
and we'll talk for.
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done.
Lisa's done her I'm done thing.
I mean, because you guys are.
Well, no, we
Up
were
on
just
your
branching
little-
off for a moment. No, we're talking
It's
about.
11 o'clock, honey.
All right. Well, if you're done, that's cool. Hey, Dershie, say goodnight to Lisa.
good night, Lisa.
Good night, Lisa.
Good night, Lisa.
Right.
It always goes back to that anyway. So.
You're funny. So anyway, I think that's really cool, man. Come 10:30, 11 o'clock, Lisa's usually ready to end the show promptly. So that's all good.
Yeah, I have a job.
You do have a job. Yep. I don't have a job.
You do have a job, but you don't have to get up for it in the morning.
No, I have a pain in the butt job, but that's okay. Robin E says goodnight, Lisa.
Good night.
She gives you thumbs up and says goodnight.
Okey-dokey.
That's cool. So anyway, it's coming up on 11 o'clock, Mr. Dershie. I'm getting a little tired myself. We can either do one of two things. We can either do another show later this week if you want.
Do one tomorrow, because you always want to say you want to do one on Thursday.
What are you doing tomorrow night, Dersh?
You don't know. Thursday night's usually my wife and I's night. You know that, so I'm not sure what we have planned or if we have anything
Gotcha.
planned, but
That's why we don't do this.
we're good. Appreciate the
Well,
time.
if you
so-
don't, no. Hey, if you don't find anything to do, we'll let everybody know if we do decide to do another show. Whether it won't be the Chuck and Lisa show, it'll be the Lisa left, so we're still right, or it'll be the right side of politics. We got so many shows, I don't know. I can't remember. I need a calendar just for the shows.
Jerry left us too, so I don't know if he was going to call in.
Did he?
Doesn't look like it.
Scared Jerry off.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right. Well, that's a good call of the night. We have been on the air for an hour and 9 minutes, and
That's long enough.
yeah.
But we got started late because, frankly, my computer hosed up, and I want to give an excuse for the computer. I'm sorry, everybody, that we got started late, and if you didn't get to see the show right now, please see it. And please listen to us because we're entertaining.
Yeah.
And we got started late just because my computer had to do an update, and it took forever to do the update. I haven't had one like that in a long time, so I apologize, and we'll do better. We'll try to be on time. We're like the people that never show up on time.
No, it's fine.
All right.
You know the type, Dersh?
Absolutely. Of course,
Alrighty.
If we don't have technical issues, then it's not the Chuck and Lisa show or the right side of politics. So,
Oh my God.
if everything
Isn't
works
that
fine,
truth?
if everything's working fine out there, you're listening to the wrong show.
Definitely. Oh, good. Robin says she'll be back to come listen to us again. Thank you for coming to listen. We're entertaining, if nothing else. I don't know, but Dersh, I love you, man. If you feel like doing it, I've been thinking about it. Every Thursday night, I walk around the house and tell
God.
Lisa,
Really,
right? Don't I?
honestly, No, we're not doing 3 shows a week.
No.
No. If you want to, go outside and do it.
I can always go out in the.
That's bullshit.
In the jungle?
In the trailer and do it.
3 shows a week.
I don't think Lisa's up for another show, do you?
Doesn't sound
I
like
don't
it.
mean me. I mean you doing
Doesn't
3
sound
shows
like
a week.
I know.
If you're tired of me, go ahead. Do it. Really do
I
it.
guess we'll talk about that
Really
another
do it.
time.
I have a feeling.
Kind of like me running for senator. She said that when I talked about running for senator too. So there's that.
I have a feeling my wife would say the same thing, Chuck. So
I think you're right. All right, let's get out of here. I love you, Dersh.
Love you too, man. Take it easy.
Have a great night, man.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week. And don't forget to join Chuck and I on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock on the right side of politics. All right? Love you, Chuck.
Yes.
And
love you, man. Have a good night.
Do you have anything
Have a good
left
night,
to say?
everybody. Thank you for joining us.
What, you have something to say? You got one thing to say before you leave?
Oh, and Obama still sucks.
Shut up, Chuck.
That's it.